I just had somebody ask a really great question on one of my YouTube videos. They said, even if the marriage is dead and both people are willing to try, can you revive it? And the answer to that is absolutely, 100%, if you are both all in. But I also will say this, if you're both all in and you're both willing to do the work to truly restore the relationship, your marriage ain't dead. It may be on the brink, but it's not dead. If both people are willing to do the work. And here's the other thing, both of you have to work on yourselves individually in learning how to be in that relationship. So for the relationship to change, you have to change, and she has to change if assuming you're the husband. And if you got to treat like it's life and death, you got to be all in. You got to invest in yourself. She's got to invest in yourself. You've got to invest in the relationship with the time, the energy, the effort, the mentorship, maybe therapy, but you have to invest in it as if it is life and death. Okay, it's like if you have cancer, you're not just going to say, well, I'm committed to surviving this. No, you got to make massive, dramatic changes in your life to be able to be willing to heal beyond cancer. Everything in your life has to change. Everything, you have to change your diet, you have to change your lifestyle, you have to change everything. Okay? So here's the last thing I want to say on this. Whether you end the marriage or heal the marriage, both paths are going to be painful and difficult and challenging. Okay? Here's what I told my daughter when she and her husband were going through a divorce. I said, either way you go, if you save the marriage or if you leave the marriage, it's going to be more costly and more painful than you can imagine. But the difference is, if you choose the path of healing, you're both all in. At the end of it, you get healing, you get the relationship, and long term, it's way less costly and less painful. But most people aren't willing to pay the price. They just want to say, okay, let's just try again. But they can repeat the same patterns, the same things that happen that cause the relationship to go to the brink are going to happen again. Unless there is change, nothing will change. Now, the good news, my daughter and her husband, they got a divorce. But because of what I told her later, she said, Dad, I think I wanted to get him back. And I said, well, then here's what you got to do. You got to change. You got to change. And he's got to change. And it's going to be more costly and painful than you can imagine. But they did the work. And today they had they got remarried. They had their second child. Their third child is on the way now. It's been a beautiful story, but they were willing to do the work.